are you fully out on Dillon Gabriel if he doesn't play well today? And Nick, I got to put play well into context. Like, this is not Vikings game play well. This is not Dolphins game play well, where I think you can argue that he played fine in those two games, right? Like, it wasn't bad. Didn't turn the ball over. Was definitely not the reason that, obviously, you're 1-1 in those two games, but he's not the reason you won. He's certainly not the reason you lost in each of those two. Like, I think today is the day that Dillon just has to actually look good, or else I might not be pounding my fist on the table for Shedeur outright, because I don't know that the Ravens game's the one I really want to see him. But, like, I'm going to feel like I know what Dillon Gabriel is. Like, if you can't look good this week, you can't look good, period.
Yeah, I feel like I can't even answer this question because I'm already out on Dillon Gabriel. I feel like Shedeur Sanders should be starting today. I feel like this is a massive missed opportunity to not start Shedeur Sanders, matter of fact, because you had the extended bye week. You had time to prep Shedeur Sanders to play in this game, and you didn't take it. And I know he was dealing with the back tightness, and he missed a practice earlier in the week, and ultimately he still will be the backup quarterback today, but everything about this lined up perfectly, from the changing of the play caller with the bye week to it's the Jets that just traded away Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. Like, it was the perfect opportunity to play Shedeur, and they ignored it. And I guess get why they did, because they feel like they've got 9 more of these just to cross the finish line on another wasted season. But everything was set up for them to start Shedeur today. So if Dillon falters, yeah, I guess I'm ready to see Shedeur, but I'm ready to see Shedeur now.
Yeah, I mean, I can see obviously, like, I mean, I'm not out on Dillon entirely, but I'm pretty close. Like, I don't think Dillon's going to be a long-term starter in the NFL. There's a 0% chance in my mind that he's a franchise quarterback. I'm not out in the fact of, like, he can't win you football games type of out, right? Like, you know, I do understand the side of it of, like, if you don't think Shedeur's ready, playing him for 9 games, like, if you get through 6 bad games of Shedeur Sanders, if he did look bad, there's a real, I still got almost a month to go here, and it's really hard to logic playing Shedeur. And playing Bailey Zappi doesn't do anything for anybody. So it's like, I get that side of it, and if he's not ready, you don't feel like he's ready, you're not going to put him out there early. I also just look at Dillon, and I'm like, I try to be objective, right? Like, I'm all in. I think that Shedeur is a better quarterback. I would have taken Shedeur much higher in the draft than I would have taken Dillon Gabriel. I would have started Shedeur probably before I started Dillon if it was up to me, but it's not. So, like, if we're looking at Dillon right now and we assess the games that he's had to play, Minnesota, good defense. Steelers, not a good defense, played poorly. And then you go and you have games like you play the Dolphins, that's a bad defense, but I can't really have a knock on you in that game other than the fact that you didn't look great. But, like, bad weather, you weren't asked to be great in order to win the game. I can't knock you for going out and doing your job and winning a football game. Like, it's not the week that I'm going to sit there and praise him all week long. It's not the week that I'm going to point to and being like, wow, you should have been so much better today. You put up 31 points and the other team put up 6. Like, you won the game. I'm not going to criticize how you looked. And then obviously against the Patriots, it was horrible.
Right.
Like, it was just downright bad, but a good defense. Like, today is your opportunity. Like, after this week, if you can't look good in this game, again, I am all the way out. Like, I am backing out. This is as fair of an opportunity that I can give Dillon Gabriel. I'm giving you 2 weeks against a bad defense, a team that just blew up their team, a team that has 1 win on the season. If it's not today, Dillon will never play a game in his football career that looks like he's good. Right. He might just be fine. He might be a backup quarterback. He'll never look good.
Well, and nobody's expecting him. Like the expectations with Dillon Gabriel was never really franchise quarterback. But, like, if you play poorly today against the Jets, you might effectively play your way into being off this roster in its entirety next year. Like, forget being Colt McCoy and a really smart kid that could be around the organization and that could be a backup for 10 years. Like, all that could go out the window. Like, if you can't look serviceable against this Jets team today, I think it's all on the table. And for the Shedeur thing, like, at least with Shedeur, I can hold on to, and it was distant, especially now, that preseason debut against the Carolina Panthers. Those 2 touchdown passes, still probably the 2 best touchdown throws that I've seen from a Browns quarterback all year long. Yep. So not only has Dillon Gabriel underwhelmed because the games that he started have been so boring, he hasn't even shown me a flash of a single trait that says elite quarterback. He shows me that he's understatured, he's overmatched, and the left-handedness and the inaccuracy of the passing, he has no business being on an NFL field. So if things don't look better today, where it is set up perfectly to at least be palatable, I don't know what to tell the guy.
Yeah, and by the way, I didn't even mention the fact you're also changing play callers. Like, and I don't view that as like a negative, a give Dillon an extra leash type of move. I view that as they're doing something to try to make you look better type of move.
Yeah, it's a desperation type of move. Evidently, like Kevin Stefanski likes Dillon Gabriel. Like you could hear it in the inflection in his voice when he talked about Dillon Gabriel at the draft until even through Dillon's struggles, he still thinks very highly of Dillon Gabriel. He was able to get nothing out of him. Effectively, zero juice squeezed out of Dillon Gabriel in the Kevin Stefanski called games. We'll see if things could be differently with Tommy Rees. I don't really expect them to be because I believe it's a super limited quarterback that was a reach of a draft pick in the top 100. They fell in love with him because he's really smart on the whiteboard and because he speaks their lingo. But I've seen more elite traits out of one half of preseason football from Shedeur Sanders than I've seen in a much bigger sample size out of Dillon Gabriel.
So, but I think this is the interesting thing. And it was interesting because we were having a conversation with Keith between one of the breaks, and it's like Kevin obviously gets compared to Kyle Shanahan for a lot of reasons, part of being part of the tree, part of a lot of things. But I mean, it brought up the fact that like Browns fans wanted Kevin to kind of be Kyle, right? Like when you saw Joe Flacco succeed, it's like, okay, you're getting things out of these quarterbacks that are like 40 years old and quarterbacks that hadn't showed a lot in the league prior to that in the years past. Like obviously years past, Joe was good, but in the last like 5+, he was not so great. Like, I mean, there was almost a full decade of football where Joe was just not playing good football.
Right.
I look at this and it's like, okay, but you don't need necessarily the elite traits to be successful in the NFL. Like, Brock Purdy does not have an elite trait and is currently getting paid an outrageous contract and succeeding. Obviously not on the field that much this year, but has succeeded in his time with San Francisco. Yeah. So, like, I'm fine if I don't see the elite traits. It's the problem of nothing looks good. Like, so if he's able to go out there and, like, light up the Jets today, well, I'm not using that as like, here's what we've been waiting for Dillon Gabriel, because it's a bad defense. So you got to show it to me against a defense with a pulse. Like, go and show me half of that against the Ravens, and I'll be more inclined to say nice things about you. Like, again, yeah, you have to do it today. And you have things set up for you to do it today. Like, I'm not bought back in on Dillon Gabriel if he plays well today, but I do think it sort of staves off the he's terrible, he can't play in the NFL, he's not any good. Like, it staves off that conversation. Because at least you can do it. And at least there's life there with Tommy Rees. At least there's something to grasp onto for me. Like, again, if it's not today, I'm out. Like, right. At that point, just give me Shedeur.
Dude, because seriously, think about this. If he plays poorly today and Stefanski goes up there and, just commits to him like he's done after each and every one of these embarrassing Dillon Gabriel performances, Stefanski goes up there and almost immediately commits to him as the starting quarterback for the next game. If that happens, is the stadium going to be empty against the Ravens? Like, is anybody going to care at all? Because everybody knows how bad the Jets are. Everybody knows locally and nationally what they did at the trade deadline. Like, they were the story of the NFL trade deadline because of what they did selling off Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. So if Dillon Gabriel can't look good, where the entire league knows that this is a team that just a couple of days ago waved and put up a white flag on their entire season, and you stand by them after today? Oh, yeah, everybody's going to be done.
It's inexcusable. Nick, if he plays really well today, and I'm not talking like Vikings good. I mean, if he goes out there and lights it up and he extends the field and he gets Jerry Jeudy involved, is there a part of you that's going to have at least some hesitation to say, like, Dillon can't do this? Like, you said you're fully out. Is there part of you that's, like, slightly bought back in?
Maybe. I think there will be a part of me that will be able to be like, I hope that gives him some sort of momentum going into a more meaningful game. And we have a more meaningful game right after this one with the Ravens. But really, no, because I've seen what he is against good teams, against good defenses. I really think that Patriots game just completely turned me off on Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I can't disagree. Like, it was a game where I was just like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, what am I even watching? I think something with Tommy Rees. Again, if you look good today, it's not like I'm going to sing to the high praises for Dillon Gabriel. I'm not going to do that. Again, you should look good today. There's no excuse not to look good. It will give me enough, like, pause to go, okay, I'd like to see you start against Baltimore now. Like, now you have a good game under your belt. How do you build off of that? How do you bounce back knowing that it's going to be a better defense on the other side? How do you actually use that as okay, I'm not going to be able to do this against this team, but how do I pull elements out of that to be able to repeat it against a good defense? Like, there's going to be part of me that's once again interested in watching him play against Baltimore. And then if he looks bad against Baltimore again, I'll probably be pounding my fist on the table for Shedeur Sanders and ready to see it. Like, that's basically where I'm at. I'm on a game-to-game basis with Dillon. And as soon as you have a bad game right now without stringing together good performances, it's kind of closed doors for me. Like, I'm kind of sick of it. There's still a couple of things to get to here. So, Nick, let's take the time. Let's go to our fantasy football segment here, brought to you by Homestyle Homes, improving what matters since 2002. A couple of definitely interesting guys to note on the questionable list today. DeAndre Swift, Bears running back, expected to play against the Giants. He's listed as questionable. Same thing for Tet McMillan going against the Saints. Harold Fannin and Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman still technically, until the injury report comes out today, on the IR, although he is very expected to play. They said that there's a really good chance he gives it a go today. Harold Fannin, questionable, expected to go. Garrett Wilson, questionable, expected. A lot of the questionables today, just expected to go. One of the only guys that I can think of off the top of my head that is out today that you need to be making sure that you're keeping an eye on is Brian Thomas Jr. for the Jags. And really, I might as well have been out the entire year. I mean, he's been terrible.
Yeah, he really has done nothing. And still, like, the Jaguars are just taking stabs at any receiver they could find, making that Jacoby Myers trade. Obviously, Travis Hunter is going to be out for at least 4 games now, too. Like, Jacksonville, a bit of a mess. That's something to watch, especially for our draft pick. Dude, for fantasy purposes, I've got the weird inkling that today could be a Jerry Jeudy fantasy day.
I was going to ask you about that because we were talking about that before the show started, because I'd mentioned, I'm like, I need to set my fantasy lineups, which again, this is your reminder from us to you every single Sunday.
Go set them.
There's a Berlin game today.
We're in Germany.
Right, so we got 9:30. You got 40 minutes to get that lineup set, or you might be at risk of starting a player who's out, or having somebody on your bench that you'd like to be starting, so make sure you set your lineups. We talked about that. Like, I was debating on starting Jerry today because a little thin at wide receiver in a couple of leagues, and I'm like, Jerry might be a guy that I like. You change the play calling. I don't feel good about it, but
no.
If there's any week this year that I felt good about it since like week 3, it'd probably be this week.
No, and I just spent the entire segment pretty much hemorrhaging Dillon Gabriel, so I can't double back on that. But I do think that Tommy Rees is just going to look at his situation and look at the lack of talent on this offense and think that Jerry Jeudy is a guy that could give him any semblance of a passing game if he could just get the football in his hand. So I think, if anything, especially if you're in a PPR league, you could just maybe hope and pray that Dillon Gabriel does a couple of the 3-yard drop-offs to Jerry Jeudy, and you could stack maybe 7 of those, and you could finish with a respectable fantasy performance out of out of Jerry Jeudy.
You get enough. By the way, do you see the Jacoby Myers report? Andrew Filipponi over on our sister station in Pittsburgh at 93.7 had mentioned the Jacoby Myers thing. Apparently, Pittsburgh put in the exact same trade offer as Jacksonville did, and they let Jacoby pick. And he said, "Yeah, don't send me to Pittsburgh. I want to go to the Jaguars."
All right. I could see that.
I mean, I kind of like that. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. One, it's an ascending team rather than a team that you don't know what's going to be there at quarterback. If you just talk about finance purposes, no state income tax in Florida. So I think that if I'm Jacoby, you probably made the right decision there, even if season might not end up. I mean, it's pretty much a toss-up between the two. And I love you not going to the AFC North. Thank you very much.
If my option, like if someone gave me that option right now, like if Keith just burst through this door and he was like, you have to go do a show and live for, 2 years, 3 years in either Jacksonville, Florida, or Pittsburgh, PA.
No doubt, right?
Book the flight.
Yeah, get me to Florida, all right? We're not taking a car. This isn't Joe going down to Cincinnati. You can send one plane. I'll be on it.